O que é mais difícil para você? O trabalho no palco ou o trabalho no estúdio? E qual foi o maior desafio que você já enfrentou num personagem?
What is harder for you, the work on stage or the work on a studio? And what is the biggest challenge that you faced as a character?
Wait, the work on stage or the work?
As an actor.
Film, in a studio.
Oh, a film
Yes,
studio.
And what is the biggest challenge you faced as an actor?
Ah, wow, what a question. I think biggest challenge as an actor. I think more on stage than on film. Except the challenge I've had on film a few times is how to make a bad script look better, so I don't look like an idiot acting a terribly written role. That's a challenge, actually. On stage, a more artistic challenge. Would be when you have developed into an experiential organic actor, and you get cast in something with a lot of more traditional actors that are not giving you anything real. And what you have to learn is to take that as reality. If you give me something artificial, I'm going to look at you like, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting that way? Because that's real.
Of course.
You know? And this took me a long time to get, because you're often working with people who are not experiencing the role, that everything is reality. And once you get that, it's a wonderful day, because that means no matter what you do, it's good. It may not be great. It may not be inspired or your best moments, but it'll at least be valid. It'll be good, because you're accepting everything that's happening as reality, really. You know, with very, very few exceptions. I mean, the scenery falls down okay. You may get a little bit, break that, but most of the time, 95% of the time, it's reality. And I think I think that's a challenge to find that under certain circumstances of direction, even set design, and what you're getting from other actors. I don't know if that's answering your question. Do you mean a specific role?
No.
No.
I mean,
challenge of that.
as an actor, yes.
As an actor, yeah. I would also say it's a challenge if you have to play in front of about 2,000 people, like in a major, huge theater, that though I can project my voice well, that I have to stop myself from projecting the subtleties, because the subtleties are the subtleties, and it's not fair, but the first 10 rows are going to see them better than the 50th row. They just are. I refuse to let somebody say to me, though, oh, well, if I'm sitting in the back, you have to do more facial expression because they're not getting it back there. No, they're getting it. They're getting it. I don't have to like twist my face around and be artificial with that. I'm still going to be on my real impulse. And if it's subtle, okay, they may not get all the subtlety back there. But, you know, they get enough. They're going to get the feeling from my body. Then if I start faking it, they're not going to get that in a real way. And I find that works, but it is a challenge. It is a challenge because you're getting an enormous pressure to start mugging for the last row, which I see stage actors on big stages doing, and it's horrible, right? It's just terrible to see that, you know? Especially if you're in the first row. It's like watching some kind of monster.
Acho que uma última pergunta. No Brasil, nós estamos tendo agora uma onda muito grande de musicais. E musicais vindos na maior parte da Broadway. O que você pensa dos musicais, se você considera que os musicais podem ser um bom campo de trabalho para atores? Porque o que nós temos visto no Brasil é que os atores nos musicais, na maior parte das vezes, trabalham com o máximo de falsidade a respeito da qual você estava falando tanto durante toda a nossa conversa.
Okay, there's a lot of musicals that have been brought to Brazil, especially Broadway musicals. So he wants to know, what do you think of musicals? And do you think musicals are a good place for actors to go get experience? Because a lot of what is seen in musicals, in musical acting, is a lot of the artificial stuff we've been talking about all the time.
Absolutely.
Through all this conversation.
Yeah, I really find it hard to answer this question because I'm torn in two directions. One is that I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but usually when I go to see them, I really like them, and I'm entertained, and I will walk out of the theater singing the songs and all of that. At the same time, I don't go there expecting to believe the actors. If I do, it's a treat. I mean, it's a special extra, but I don't go in thinking the actors are going to be experiencing the role in that way. They got enough to do singing and dancing. So it's a kind of entertainment that I think if the actor doing it understands that, really understands that, they can get a lot of skill, physical and vocal skill, and a lot of even culture in a certain way, doing it, and performing experience, and knowing how to please an audience, and a lot of things about the stage that you just get through experience. Especially a big production like a musical can teach you a lot. So that's the positive of it. The negative is, yes, a lot of the acting's bad, and nobody's telling you, in fact, they almost insist that it be bad. Because the folks in Kansas like that, you know, or something, I don't know. The George Bush people like it, let's say that. I don't want to insult the good Kansans, just people who voted for Bush. They like that. You know, corny acting, we would call it. Yeah, I think it can ruin an actor's, if they're not careful, they can ruin their technique and their sense of experiencing the role. So it's good and bad, you know. I would hope if you're going to do a musical that you do one of the better ones that has a great book to it and that is really kind of a popular work of art. Things like Guys and Dolls, West Side Story, you know, even the one based on Bernard Shaw, My Fair Lady, is great. You know, otherwise, it's really dancer-singer territory. And New York has the best dancers in the world as far as popular dancer, that kind of dancing. I mean, there's fantastically skillful dancers in New York. Fantastic. The singing of those shows I don't like so much. There's something in the sound that I hate, actually, with most of them. But the dancing, I think, is fantastic. And then there's, what's his name? Stephen Sondheim, which is a bit more real.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's more experimental.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not for everybody, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
It was a
Thank you.
treat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.